Liverpool, 1650.
The biting wind, sharp and unforgiving, whipped off the Irish Sea, carrying with it the scent of salt and the chilling promise of another long, brutal night. This wasn't the Liverpool we know today, a bustling metropolis, a titan of trade and culture. No, this was Liverpool in 1650, a fragile, nascent settlement clinging to the edge of the land, a scattering of timber-framed houses huddled against the elements. It was a place where the wind wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a constant, stark reminder of deeper, more insidious threats that lurked just beyond the flickering candlelight. Cold was merely the harbinger, a chilling prelude to the true antagonists of daily life: hunger and pervasive, unshakable fear. Imagine, for a moment, a world stripped bare of our modern comforts. No central heating, no supermarkets overflowing with food, no instant communication to quell anxieties. What did life truly entail for the ordinary people who woke each morning in this unforgiving era? Beyond the grand narratives of kings and battles, beyond the sweeping decrees of Parliament, what was the lived reality of survival when each day was a testament to endurance? That is the story we uncover today, a journey back to a time when simply making it to tomorrow was the greatest victory. Liverpool in 1650 was a town caught between two worlds: the vast, unpredictable expanse of the ocean and the often barren, landlocked interior. Its identity was forged by the sea, its very existence intertwined with the ebb and flow of the tides. Fishing was not a pastime but a lifeline, providing a meager yet essential source of protein. Small-scale coastal trade, often hazardous, brought in what little could not be produced locally. But the sea, while offering a precarious livelihood, was also a formidable adversary. Storms could materialize with terrifying speed, capsizing fishing boats and claiming lives, leaving families bereft and the town's primary food source disrupted. A failed catch, a week of rough seas, or a single misjudgment by a mariner could spell disaster, directly impacting the availability of food and the overall well-being of every man, woman, and child in this vulnerable community. The ocean was both provider and destroyer, a constant reminder of humanity's smallness in the face of nature's might. And then there was winter, not the picturesque festive season we often romanticize, but a prolonged, agonizing test of human resilience. Early modern housing, with its thin walls, leaky roofs, and unglazed windows, offered scant protection against the freezing temperatures. Drafts were an ever-present companion, whistling through every crack and crevice. The struggle for warmth was relentless. Fuel, often wood or peat, was scarce and precious, its procurement a grueling task in itself. Fires, though essential, filled homes with acrid smoke, stinging eyes and lungs, a constant reminder of the compromise between warmth and breathable air. Winter was not a season to be enjoyed. It was a siege, a daily battle fought against the elements, where survival was measured in the ability to simply endure the pervasive cold. People huddled together, sharing what little body heat they could generate, some even placing heated stones or bricks wrapped in cloth into their beds, a desperate attempt to ward off the encroaching chill. Yet, even these ingenious methods often proved woefully inadequate against the relentless grip of a 17th century winter. It was a time when life itself felt like a flickering flame, constantly threatened by the overwhelming darkness. The cold, though a constant torment, was but one facet of the pervasive struggle. Beneath its icy grip, a more insidious enemy lurked: hunger. Famine rarely arrived with a sudden dramatic flourish in 17th century Liverpool. Instead, it was a creeping menace, a slow, agonizing descent into scarcity. It began subtly, perhaps with a poor harvest or a storm-damaged fishing fleet, leading to a scarcity of fresh produce. Then, the prices of staple goods, especially bread, the very foundation of the common diet, would begin their inexorable climb, rendering them increasingly out of reach for the working poor. What started as belt-tightening soon morphed into genuine deprivation. Children, with their smaller, more vulnerable bodies, were often the first to succumb, their laughter silenced by the gnawing emptiness in their bellies. Adults, weakened by inadequate nourishment, found their strength waning, their resistance to common illnesses plummeting. A simple cold could become pneumonia, a minor infection could turn fatal, all because the body lacked the reserves to fight back. Unlike our modern world, where supermarkets are perpetually stocked and food banks offer a safety net, 1650 Liverpool offered no such assurances. Every meal was a hard-won victory. Every empty plate, a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of starvation. This wasn't a temporary inconvenience. It was a fundamental truth of existence, shaping choices, relationships, and the very fabric of daily life. But the dangers weren't solely environmental or physiological. Beyond the cold and the gnawing hunger, another potent force shaped the lives of Liverpool's inhabitants: fear. This wasn't just the fear of a bad harvest or a stormy sea. It was a deeply ingrained political dread that permeated every aspect of society. The English Civil War, a brutal and bloody conflict that had torn the nation asunder just years prior, had left scars that ran deep. Even in 1650, the echoes of war reverberated, creating an atmosphere of profound instability. Rumors of shifting loyalties, of royalist plots and parliamentary purges were constant companions. Authority was fluid, often contested, and the common people found themselves caught between powerful factions, their lives pawns in a larger, brutal game. Liverpool itself, a small but strategically important port, had experienced skirmishes and changes of control during the war, leaving its populace acutely aware of the fragility of peace. Families lived with the memory of sieges, the requisitioning of their meager goods, and the arbitrary justice meted out by whoever held power that day. This political uncertainty mirrored the unpredictable nature of the sea, creating a pervasive sense of insecurity that colored every decision, every interaction. It was a time when trust was a luxury and suspicion a necessary survival mechanism. Yet, amidst these overwhelming challenges, life in Liverpool not only persisted, but, in its own way, thrived. The sheer ingenuity and resilience of its people were remarkable. Daily life was a relentless cycle of practical tasks, each contributing to the collective survival. Men mended fishing nets, their fingers calloused and raw, preparing for the next perilous venture onto the Irish Sea. Women tended to small vegetable plots, hoping for a meager yield, or haggled for scraps in the town's nascent market. Boats, essential for both fishing and trade, were meticulously maintained, their wooden hulls patched and caulked against the relentless elements. But it wasn't just individual effort that kept the community afloat. It was the powerful, indispensable fabric of shared existence. Neighbors didn't just live beside each other, they relied on one another. Food, when available, was often shared, especially during times of extreme scarcity. Shelter, meager as it was, might be offered to those whose homes had been damaged or destroyed. Information, vital for navigating the political landscape or preparing for an approaching storm, flowed through informal networks, binding the community together. This wasn't abstract generosity, it was a pragmatic necessity, a deep-seated understanding that collective survival was the only path forward. In times of crisis, the innate human drive for community, for connection, becomes amplified, revealing a timeless aspect of our nature. It is a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity that even under such crushing pressures, people found ways to not just exist, but to forge bonds that allowed them to face down the cold, the hunger, and the fear together. In this world without guarantees, where the unpredictable forces of nature and the capricious tides of political power held sway, there were no safety nets as we understand them today. Reliable medicine was a distant dream, social welfare an alien concept, and food security a fragile aspiration, often shattered by a single failed harvest or a devastating storm. Each family's survival hinged entirely on a precarious trifecta: the whims of the weather, the sheer toil of their own hands, and an unquantifiable measure of pure luck. To endure one brutal winter offered absolutely no assurance for the next. Life was a relentless tightrope walk, each step fraught with the possibility of disaster, highlighting the profound precariousness of existence in 17th century Liverpool. Consider, for instance, the state of medicine. Remedies were often based on folklore, superstition, or rudimentary observations, ranging from herbal concoctions to bloodletting, with little scientific understanding of disease. Infection was rampant, and even a simple cut could prove fatal. The grim reality of infant mortality rates, soaring to staggering levels, painted a stark picture of life's fragility. A child born in 1650 faced daunting odds, with many not surviving their first year, and many more succumbing before adulthood. This constant, pervasive threat of illness and death underscored the absolute lack of guarantees that defined their world, making each sunrise a small victory, each sustained life a testament to incredible resilience. It is almost impossible to reconcile the immediate, desperate struggle of Liverpool in 1650 with the colossal transformation it would undergo in the centuries that followed. The shivering inhabitants, huddled against the biting wind, their bellies aching with hunger, could not have conceived of the sprawling, bustling port city it would become. They could not have envisioned the forest of masts, the grand docks teeming with goods from every corner of the globe, the magnificent civic buildings, or the vibrant cultural tapestry that would eventually define Liverpool. To them, the future was not a canvas of grand possibilities, but merely the next day, the next week, the next season. Their sole unwavering focus was the immediate goal, enduring until spring, until the fishing improved, until the political winds shifted in their favor, until the cold grip of winter finally loosened its hold. The concept of historical trajectory, of a city's destiny, would have been utterly meaningless in the face of such profound daily exigencies. They were living moment by moment, their vision necessarily narrowed by the demands of survival. As we look back, history often prioritizes the grand narratives, the rise and fall of empires, the strategies of generals, the decrees of kings. But in doing so, it frequently overlooks the silent, unyielding resistance of ordinary people. Cities like Liverpool, indeed, entire civilizations, were not merely built by the powerful few, but on the steadfastness of countless individuals who faced cold, hunger, and fear daily. They lived without the comforts we take for granted, without the certainty of tomorrow, yet they persevered. Their struggles, their small victories, their quiet acts of communal support are the true bedrock of our shared past. It is a powerful reminder that the foundational strength of any society lies not just in its leaders or its grand institutions, but in the enduring spirit of its common people. Their unacknowledged resilience, their ability to simply keep going against overwhelming odds, is what truly shaped history and paved the way for the future we inhabit. The enduring power of human perseverance isn't just a historical footnote. It's a timeless testament to the indomitable will to live, to hope, and to build, even when the world offers little but hardship.